Blessed Samhain. Today is October 30th. So today, I should say tonight, it is nighttime. I'm going to be talking a little bit just about Samhain. If you are an existing subscriber and you're watching this, welcome back and thank you for coming back. And happy Samhain, blessed Samhain. And if you are new to my channel and came across my page, welcome. I am Tammy. Still thinking of a witch name for myself. One hasn't presented itself to me yet. But welcome. And on my channel, I do witchy subscription boxes, other small business boxes. Occasionally I do David's tea. I also do series of on tarot, on crystal. I do have one part of a crystal talk that I did record, and I had to stop it short. I had a Samhain meeting that was coming up, so I will be posting that soon. It was recorded a little earlier in the week. Actually, it might have even been on the weekend. So I still have that I will be uploading. I just want to have the second part done, so then I can put the two of them up together. And yeah, as I learn, I will be posting on my channel. I have a lot that I want to do with my channel and put on my channel. This has kind of been my focus now. I'm trying to focus more on my channel. It's been hard to do so since I started my channel last year. I believe I started it last December. Just obviously with COVID, I do work full time, so I work 40 hours a week. We had a death in the family. My mother was in the hospital, very touch and go, so my energy was being spent elsewhere. So now that is okay, and in the past, sorry, my candle is crackling and sparkling, so, and there's nothing there that should be causing it to crackle and like pop. So I will be trying very hard to focus more on my channel, more content and stuff. Kind of getting back into the routine of reading and getting information. I did do a lovely Samhain ritual in community, in person, with some of my witchy sisters in my community, and some crones. And both of my daughters actually were both able to attend. So this was their first ritual in general, in public, in the community, and kind of being connected to other witches in the community. So it was very deep and connecting for them. Being out amongst other witches besides their mother, and just being in community with people, you know. They were both very social girls, well, young women, And then obviously, I'm sure like with everybody else with COVID, nobody has been able to have that energetic connection with another human being because we've all been in lockdown. So it was really great seeing them interacting with other people besides their family, you know. So I'm still a little drained a bit from that ritual. I do help or put it together. So it's usually a group of us that kind of organize it and put it together. You have one person that's leading it. I generally cast a circle and call in the directions. Sometimes I will call in the deity. This time I didn't. It was two other wonderful ladies that called in the deity, which today we worked with Hecate, which is actually one of the deities that I work with. I work with Hecate. I've worked with Lilith a few times recently, and apparently have been starting to work with Loki. Still learning on him. I'm not very familiar with him too much, other than obviously what they portray in the movies. But I do have a very good friend of mine that works with him quite frequently, so I will be touching bases with her on that. He actually reached out to me, so yeah. So Samhain. Samhain is what we now know of is Halloween. So it is October 31st to November 1st. It is sorry, I'm reading my notes so I don't forget anything. It is the third and final harvest for the crops. It's also the witch's new year, so it's our new year. And it's the midpoint between the autumn equinox and the winter solstice. So it's literally right in the middle. So the word Samhain is Irish. The meaning, I guess, translation of it, whatever, is summer's end, right? Because summer is now coming to an end. We're now going into the darker half of the year. Yeah, so it is the third and final harvest of the year. The last of the produce from your crops is stored to provide through the winter. The origin of the jack-o'-lantern is rooted in the belief of wandering spirits and ghosts. The lantern's glow was meant as a beacon for the spirits of the dearly departed, while the terrible faces carved in them were meant to frighten away spirits with ill intentions. So they also, before they started using pumpkins, they actually used to use squash. So they would carve the squashes out like how we do with the pumpkins now. It wasn't until a long while later, and I believe it actually might have been the Americans that started using the pumpkins, but don't quote me on it. They would use the squash from their harvest, and they would carve it out how we did with the pumpkins, and put like scary faces on them, and then light them, put the candle inside, And it was to welcome, it was a beacon to welcome the ghost, you know, so their ancestors, their family members that have passed, you know, any ghosts that, you know, wanted to come in for a spell. The faces that were carved on them, the reason why they did scary faces was to scare off any spirits that may wish or have any ill intent. So yeah, that's why they were carved on there. Samhain is at the midpoint between the fall equinox and winter solstice, as I said. Summing winter solstice. Yeah, so during this time of year, hearth fires in family homes were left to burn out while the harvest was gathered. It was believed that as the veil got thinner, the spirits, ghosts of the underworld, our ancestors who have passed on, would come to visit in this realm. So basically, you know, we have our autumn solstice, our fall equinox. Like I said, still feeling the effects of the ritual. The fall equinox in September, Mabon. So after Mabon, because Mabon falls literally in the middle of September, as each day passes and we come into October, and then as each day passes in October and we come closer and closer and closer to the 31st and the 1st of November, that veil that separates this realm, which is our realm here, and the spirit realm, you know, as above, so below, that veil that separates it gets super, super thin, like paper, like rice paper thin. And to the point where when we hit Samhain, that veil is just pretty much non-existent because it's so thin. And a lot of people don't realize the winter solstice, which is the shortest day and the longest night. The veil is at its extreme thinnest during that time. So if you're aware, you know, or like hypersensitive or sensitive to energies, spirits, anything like that, if you're a medium, clairvoyant, if you have any of the clairs, anything like that, you notice as the veil gets thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. I'm actually working on strengthening my abilities, bringing them back. They went dormant for quite a while, quite a few years. And now that I know that they were gifts, and I'm able to manage them and protect myself and stuff like that, because I am learning, I am trying to reconnect more fully with them, which I've noticed on my journey and my path. They've been slowly kind of coming back. And this year, as the veil's been getting thinner, there's been a lot more incidents where I've felt that. Sorry, I'm just shifting here. So today, for instance, as I was casting the circle and calling in the directions, I felt somebody put their hand on my shoulder, and my daughter, my 20-year-old daughter, was standing behind me. So I thought it was just her. So I just, when somebody puts their hand on your shoulder, you just kind of casually look back. And when I looked back, she was standing like this because, we were casting and calling in the direction. So I was like, okay, so there's nobody behind me. So somebody had their hand on my shoulder. And then, sorry, that was my son. And then I got a whiff of my grandmother's perfume and this powder that she used to wear. Oh, I love her to death, but this god-awful, like, perfumey powder that she used to wear. And then a cigarette smoke, and nobody was smoking cigarettes. I don't even think anybody there smoked cigarettes, to be honest, at this ritual, but there was nobody there smoking. And I know what cigarette smoke smells like. I don't smoke myself. Nobody in my house smokes, but I grew up in a smoking home. Both my parents smoked, so I know what that nicotine kind of smoky cigarette kind of smell is. So, and I'm pretty sure my Uncle Charlie smoked. And then there was another spirit that was there, but I wasn't familiar with who it was. But I did feel another presence there. But anyways, so when you're hypersensitive, you'll start feeling different things, right? I've had like others kind of throughout the month. So pay attention and see if, you hear, see, smell, or taste. Sometimes you'll get a taste. The very first Samhain ritual I went to, there was this it was like a grounding meditation thing that we did, and we were standing, and we were kind of circling, and just there was a lot going on. We had our eyes closed, and it was like relatively dark, and because it was just the candles that were lit, and it was like an ancestral call, and that kind of thing. It was like my very first experience, and like all of a sudden I got this like salty kind of beer taste in my mouth, and I don't like beer. I despise beer. I think it's disgusting. And I knew it was my uncle. My Uncle Charlie had just passed away, so I knew it was him. And then again, my grandmother, I had that whiff of her powder and this perfume that she would put on. So I knew she was there. There was another spirit that was there, and at the time my cousin had lost her son to a horrific hit and run that June, and I've never met him, but for some reason I knew that was him. It was really odd. You know, and I had messaged my cousin right away, and I told her, I was like, I think Michael came through that night. And then I had my Uncle Jim who came through, because then all of a sudden I smelled popcorn. And for me, that's like one of my number one memories with him is we would make popcorn, like old school popcorn. I grew up in the 80s, so we used the pot with the kernels and the oil and the lid. Like, it was all old school. But the whole time that we were making this popcorn, he would have me on his shoulders, and it was and he would make like caramel popcorn, like whatever I wanted, whatever kind of popcorn I wanted, he made. So for me, that was my association. So like, I knew he was there with me because I smelled popcorn. So it was a very, very heavy night for me, and very emotional, because I broke down and I was crying, and I was very close to both my uncles, and I wasn't there. I didn't find out about my other uncle until a year later. They don't live close to us, and that's just a whole other long story. So I was very heartbroken when I found out that he did pass away. And then my Uncle Charlie was the same. Nobody actually called me to tell me that he had passed away. I actually happened to open up my Facebook and noticed that my two cousins had posted that their father had passed away. So I had reached out to them, and, you know, to get the funeral information and stuff like that. And so yeah, but pay attention, because you know, you can hear, see, taste, and touch, you know, so be aware, and see what you may feel. But yeah, so that's kind of my experiences with that one. I've had a few, so but yeah, so it was also said it was the hunt for the fairies. So in order to confuse the fairies on their hunt for humans, we would dress up in animal or monster costumes to confuse the fairies. Some more spookier spirits that may and believed to come and visit was the Dahalan. I apologize if I'm not pronouncing it right. The predecessor, for the Headless Horseman, and Puka. Again, I apologize if I'm not pronouncing it right. The Shapeshifter, and Lady Gwen, the headless woman in white, who was sometimes seen with a big black pig. It is the coming of darkness, a time to let in and welcome and sit and reflect in the darkness, time to release the following year. With this darkness, we start planning for the new year that is now on its way. Start the planting of new ideas, new ventures, new journeys, etc., so they may grow in this season's darkness. And as the new light starts to come in, the new year comes forward, so does our seeds. You know, they start to germinate in the darkness, you know, so we plant our seeds now, you know, our seeds of thoughts, our seeds of intention, all of that. and they germinate in the dark, right? So because that's what seeds do, they germinate in the dark, right? So they'll sit and germinate in the dark, and then as the nights start getting shorter and the days start coming in longer, they'll start growing, they'll start rooting and kind of stretching their roots and sprouting little roots, and then they'll get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then they'll start reaching and reaching and reaching, and then they'll reach up towards the sun, because that's what roots do, right? They grow upwards, they stretch out and then grow upwards, and they start reaching up towards the sun, right? And where the warmth is coming in, and then they'll peek through the earth and then grow, into whatever our intentions were. So whatever intentions that you created, and whatever intentions that you put into that little seed that you planted when we were in the dark, it's going to grow and flourish into whatever that intention was, So a lot of people, don't like coming into winter, and I actually 100% was one of those people, because I was like, oh, it's going to be dark when I finish work. When I go to work, it's dark. When I come home, it's dark, because I'm at work relatively early in the morning, right? So it's like I never see sun. Like I don't see any light, because by the time I finish work, the sun's already gone down, because during the winter months, the sun goes down by like 4 o'clock, quarter after 4, 4:30, so I never get to actually see the daylight. So I was definitely one of those people, and my birthday is in January as well, like the coldest freaking month of the winter and the longest month of the winter. So I was very much like, oh, winter is here, the darkness is here, it's dark all the time, and it's cold, and ugh. So I'm still not a fan of the cold. That will never change. But since going to witch school and learning about going into the darkness, and just the whole like meaning of it, and just everything, I kind of started taking a step back and was like, oh, okay. And now I embrace that darkness now. I embrace that darkness. This is the time, for me to focus on me, and, get rid of, let go and release, banish, all of the negative energies, just all of the stuff that has happened from the year prior, and just, everything. And I so look forward to doing it, just, especially with, everything now, that has happened. And last year I didn't have a lot of energy to even do that last year, because like I said, we had so much going on last year, and that I didn't even it completely slipped my mind, and time literally just got ahead of me. And so I'm actually looking forward to this, coming into the darkness, and I embrace it. I welcome it with open arms, and I embrace it, and am actually looking very forward to working with the energies of the darker months. Other things that you can do for Samhain, you can set up a ancestral altar. We have one in the living room that I set up every year. Last year was actually the first year we started doing it. So we have pictures of loved ones that have passed away, including our cats that have passed away. If I don't have a picture of somebody, I will write their name, and I will put things that they liked to eat. So I'll usually do that the day of Samhain, so like the 31st, just because we bury the paper with it, right, into the ground, along with whatever articles of food that we put on there. We do a dump dinner, so we make a really nice dinner, and then we do a plate for our ancestors. You need to feed your spirits, and then we give it back to the earth. This year, my daughters really wanted to do some spell casting this year. So they put together for the night, because they know that I'm busy with between working and then working in my witchy community as well, putting together our Samhain ritual for community. So they put this one together. So obviously I will be the one casting the circle and calling in the directions, because they just they like how I do it. They feel like it's more magical and more powerful when I do it. So so we have 2 spells that we're doing. We're also doing a spread for the new year. So if you are someone who does divination, so tarot cards, runes, anything like that, tea leaf reading, anything like that, and you want to do like a year, you know, what your year ahead is going to look like, a lot of people do it on December 31st, you know, because they're going by like that new year. But for us as witches, practitioners, you know, practicing witches, this is actually our new year. This is the witches' new year. So we should actually technically be doing it on the 31st of October. So we will be doing a tarot spread for the new year, the upcoming year. So we'll be doing that as well. And then obviously watching some horror movies. So there's so much, you know, you can do. You know, we put pumpkins outside. We always have different shapes of pumpkins outside. We usually have one inside lit as well. I put out like little sweets, you know, like cakes or cupcakes, something, anything like that, any kind of a sweets. I usually put it outside as well, for the spirits, you know, welcoming them in. It's definitely a very magical time of year. It's probably one of my favorite Sabbats, I would have to say, would be Samhain and the Winter Solstice. I mean, I love all the Sabbats, but those 2 would probably have to be my favorite. And I think it's because I do a lot of divination work around those times, to work with the energy of the Sabbath. So but yeah, so that is a little bit about Samhain. There's a lot of information out there. I just kind of took what I knew and what I read from a couple of books that I have here, for the Wheel of the Year. there's a lot of books out there. You can even get books specifically for each of the Sabbats, which they would give you more information. Usually they give you like recipes and things like that. But yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing and magical experience on this Samhain. And if you like my channel, don't forget to hit the like button. Even if you watch it, if you like it, hit the like button. It makes my channel more easier to access and to find. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification button. When you hit the notification button, scroll it up so it says all, so that way anytime I upload any videos, you guys will get notified right away that I've uploaded a new video. So the next Sabbath that I will be discussing is the Winter Solstice, because that is our next Sabbath that's coming up. I am trying to do all of the Sabbats. I think there might have been one that I may have missed. I think it might have been Mabon, because I actually got sick during that month. So, and then we had our Mabon ritual, like, shoo. So time kind of slipped away for me that month. So I do know I did one for Lunasa. I think Lunasa was the one, yeah, Lunasa was the one where I really started. I was like, you know, I want to start talking about the Sabbats as we go. So, yeah, so the next Sabbath would be the Winter Solstice, which is December 21st. Then it will be Imbolc, which is in February. And then after February would be the spring equinox, which is also known as Astara. And then after Astara would be Beltane. And then after Beltane is the summer solstice. And then after the summer solstice is Lunasa. And then it goes from Lunasa to Mabon, which is the fall equinox. And then Mabon into Samhain. And then we start over again. So, so I'll be doing a video for each of the Sabbats. Like I said, I believe Lunasa was the first one that I started with. I did miss Mabon. I'm pretty sure I had missed Mabon. I didn't get around to doing it, which I do apologize for. So we did Samhain tonight on the 30th. And then, well, it's a couple more minutes and it'll be the 31st. And then the next one that I'll be doing is the Winter Solstice. So we'll be talking about the Winter Solstice and just the energies around it, the meaning of it, you know, kind of covering that. So yeah, like I said, if you like my channel, hit the like and subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification button. And feel free to let me know what you did to bring in this magical night of Samhain. You know, what rituals did you do? What experiences did you experience? Did you experience anything? Did you hear anything? Did you feel anything? You know, let me know in the comments down below, guys. And you know, I welcome all positive feedback, positive comments, no negative comments or disrespectful comments, as my kids do follow my channel. They do watch them, and that's not something I want on my page. I'm here to spread love, light, and magic, and knowledge. So yeah, love and light, guys. Blessed be, blessed Samhain. Love you all, and see you next time.